morning. Welcome back to my channel, Our Wandering Footprints. So today I'm going to be making a beer bread. I'm hungry for beer bread. I love it for toast, sandwiches, and just about anything. You can put jam on it. It's just really good and it's easy. And but today I'm going to be making a rosemary and Asiago cheese beer bread. So let's go ahead and get started. So in the bowl here I have 3 cups of self-rising flour. You have to use self-rising at this recipe. And then 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And we're going to whisk that together. Just kind of mix it up, get the sugar incorporated. So with self-rising flour, you don't need salt or baking powder or any of that. It's already in here. So we're going to mix that up. Okay, and then to that, I'm going to add, it's about a 1/4 cup of fresh rosemary from my garden. You could use fresh dill, you could use dried dill, you could use dried rosemary, but you're not going to need as much because I think the dried is just a little bit more potent than what your fresh is. But I have tons of fresh rosemary growing in my garden all year round, so here in Arkansas. So okay, but you can leave that out. You don't have to put that in if you don't want to. And then to that, I'm adding 1 cup of shredded Asiago cheddar cheese. We actually got this cheese on our vacation at a place called Grandpa's Cheese Barn. And I think they have a website, it's grandpascheesebarn.com, and you can order, they have all kinds of cheeses and meats and just sweets, chocolates, anything you can think of, they have. So we're going to mix this together. Okay, now that I've got the cheese and the rosemary mixed up into the self-rising flour, I'm going to add my beer. Well, actually, it's my husband's beer, but I'm going to use it. So, you can use any kind of beer you want. You could use unflavored seltzer water. You could use any kind of like soda that you want to drink or whatever. But I'm going to use the beer, the traditional, and I'm going to use the Yingling traditional lager beer. And I'm using the whole 12 fluid ounces. So it takes 12 fluid ounces of liquid. And then I'm just going to take my spatula and just mix it up. You just want to incorporate it until there's no dry flour. And once it bakes, all the alcohol is going to be baked out and you're left with just the flavor. So you could use a dark beer, a light beer, like I said, or soda. I've done it with 7-Up. A diet soda you could use. Lemon lime soda would be really cool. Anything you really want. But I think it's the carbonation and the, that helps it rise. Plus your self-rising flour. So basically, that is it for that. And I've got my oven preheated at 375. Slinging dough everywhere. And I have 1 stick of melted butter, which is a 1/2 cup. I've melted it because we're going to pour that over the bread in on and off as we're baking it. So I've got my loaf pan, my bread loaf pan, and I've sprayed it with my Baker's Joy spray, or you can grease it with whatever you want. And then we're just going to put it in here. And this is a thick, kind of a shaggy dough. It doesn't get any easier making bread like this, I'm telling you. And then you're just going to take your spatula and just kind of pat it down in there evenly. I sold quite a bit of this last year at the farmer's market. It's always a big hit. But I did all kinds of different flavors, which was fun. Okay. Now, my scraping tool here. Get that off the spatula. Now you're going to take some of this butter. About 1/3 of it, they say, but I'm just going to use my tablespoon. And we're just going to pour the butter on top here. Just enough to kind of cover it. Not all of it. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now I'm going to put this in the oven, and we're going to bake it for 40 minutes. And then we're going to take it out, and we're going to pour some more butter on it. And then we're going to continue doing that every 10 minutes until the butter's gone and then the bread's made. So I'll bring you back here in a second. Okay, it's been 40 minutes, and now I have to add more butter to the rosemary Asiago cheese beer bread. So let's put some more butter on here. And then we're going to bake it for another 10 minutes. And do this again. So you're doing a total of an hour altogether. So the rest of the butter I'm going to wait. Okay, so we're going to get it back in the oven and bake it for 10 more minutes. Okay, this is the last 10-minute round. We're going to add the rest of the butter on here. This bread is so good. It's great with soup, especially with the cheese in it. It's great with just some cream cheese spread on it. Just toast it up for sandwiches, put lunch meat, anything you want. An egg on it would be really good. Scrambled egg. Okay, this is the last 10 minutes. I'm going to bring it back and I'll show you the final result. Okay, there's the bread. It's all finished. It's beautiful. It smells so good in here. So I'm going to let it cool about 10 minutes in the pan. I'm going to put it on a cooling rack and let it cool completely, and I will bring you back for a taste test. Okay, the beer bread is finally cooled off, and I'm going to slice it. It's got crunch on the top. Take the end off. Oh, look at that. You can see the cheese, the rosemary. I mean, I can see the cheese. Maybe you can't, but it's nice and moist. Let's see if I can cut it without tearing it up because it's still warm. There we go. Oh my. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, I'm not going to put anything on it because it's got plenty of butter on it. I'm just going to take a piece and I'm going to do a taste test. The top is crunchy. Oh my goodness, that is so good. You can taste the rosemary, and the cheese made it so moist. Kind of the Asiago has a little bit of a white cheddar flavor to it. Oh my, this is going to be so good with soup or stew, or just to have with a cup of coffee in the morning. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try this bread. It is so easy. And it's just beautiful. It'll make a beautiful gift too if you wrapped it in some parchment paper with a ribbon. Oh my goodness. So good. So I appreciate your watching. I hope you stay tuned for the next video that'll be coming up in the next couple days. And I will catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.